potential be the fight of the night. Joe Stevenson, Spencer Fisher should be exciting.
Yeah, these guys always come out to fight. Spencer, I'm a fan of Spencer Fisher. I will say about him that I think he has stagnated somewhat coming out of the Miletich camp, which formerly was one of the premier MMA camps, but in recent years actually has not had too many top-notch fighters. This is not a knock on Miletich himself, but they have not produced any high-visibility, extremely good fighters in a long time. Spencer Fisher is one of my favorites. The guy can't have a boring fight. He always bangs. He's always extremely active. I'm going to say this, that his weak point is actually the ground game, which unfortunately is Joe Stevenson's strong point.
Yeah, very much so.
Stevenson, though, in my opinion, has not necessarily delivered on the promise of how good a prospect he seemed on The Ultimate Fighter. He's had his ups and downs. I believe he is straining out of the Jackson camp.
New Mexico.
So, yeah, I
That
mean,
should
I
only
think,
be a plus.
yeah, that should only be a plus. However, if Stevenson cannot take it to the ground, and Spencer Fisher absolutely has the better hands, he could have a rough night. It'll be interesting to see that.
I like both fighters.
Yeah, under the tutelage of Jackson, if he's going to have a very definite game plan against Fisher.
If anything, what Joe Daddy, if he hooks that guillotine, lots of times that's a high percentage move for him.
Yeah,
very much.
He has one of the best guillotines
Jason,
in the game.
How do you see this fight going?
I think Joe Daddy. It could go either way, but I kind of feel Joe Daddy.
I'm going to say this: if Fisher wins, it's going to be by decision. I don't think there's any question about that. Though Stevenson definitely has enough submissions in his repertoire to finish Fisher. However, Fisher is notoriously difficult to finish, even from extremely strong ground guys. So we'll give him some credit there.
Anybody else on the undercard, Matt, that's going to be
I think we
potential?
covered. Actually, I think the Rothwell-Velasquez fight's going to be good. I mean, everyone with regards to Machida Hua match is pretty much saying, "Hey, what round is Machida going to win?"
That gets scary though when
I agree.
everybody sees you as unbeatable, and especially in MMA, even more so than boxing.
Every
or
time it
anything
happens,
else.
there's an amazing loss. So yeah, I mean, don't count.
You fight enough, eventually
Yes,
someone's
it's
going
gonna
to beat
happen.
them, and that's the interesting thing. That's what we all wait for. So our webcam went down for just a second, guys, but we're going to have it back
It's
up.
back up right now.
There you go. It's the magic of Andy Clearman.
I think this is actually a pretty solid card. I mean, I can't remember which card that they're fighting. What is the Sanchez Penn card? Is that the one right at the end of the year or at the beginning of next year? I can't seem to recall. But anyway, that's kind of their showcase card, I believe, for the end of the year.
It's the New Year's Eve.
Is it the New Year's Eve show? Okay, that's kind of their premier show for the end of the year.
So they're doing the Japanese thing. They're having New Year's Eve show.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising, being that the Japanese MMA presence in America is virtually nil right now. It's relegated to Sengoku and Dream.
Yeah.
And even though they got a lot of great welterweights and under, they're 185 pounds and up.
So UFC is doing a New Year's Eve show?
I don't know if is it New Year's Eve or a couple days before.
I'm not sure. I briefly
like
saw it
January
earlier,
7th
and
or something like
you
that.
know,
A couple days
didn't pay
after.
attention to the date, but it is. It's the end of the year.
I'm not
Okay.
surprised that the Japanese fighters aren't really getting. Even Strikeforce does it, other than Fedor. They don't get that much. The UFC dominates so much here in North America.
No, absolutely.
That I'm not surprised that the Japanese fighters and the Japanese organizations don't get much play other than from the hardcore fans.
Speaking of that, I'm wondering because I was watching the last, I believe it was Dream. The next one is going to be in a cage.
Yeah, that's actually, which seems to be a major concession towards American audiences and American fans. That's absolutely
But
a
that
move
they
towards
belong in the
American
cage.
fans.
Yes. I think
Well,
so.
I agree. Just for safety reasons alone, in terms of falling out and breaking them up and whatever. But that's a major deal because Japanese MMA tends to be relatively autonomous of American MMA. So that's definitely a strong move to try to get more visibility from American audiences and perhaps have some cross promotion with the Japanese fighters and some of the leagues that support some of the lower weight fighters, say like WEC.
And the truth is, your average, Billy Bob doesn't know the difference between Yoshida and Okayama.
No,
And it's just that
absolutely.
the names run together to them, and unless they've been able to watch them,
Yes.
And it's the same thing they're running with Strikeforce.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you before I know we're getting ready for a break, but our local guy,
Tyrone.
Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
Wanted to know what you thought of his last performance. We were able to have him on the show right
He
afterwards.
looked good. I mean, Light is actually one of Quentin Jackson's trainers at the Wolf Slayer. He looked good. He was utterly dominant. Has a good submission game. His submissions are really coming along for a wrestler-based fighter coming out of Mike Rogers' camp. He looked really, really good. He looked good against Sal Woods. I'm expecting him to win at this upcoming fight in the next Strikeforce show.
Who's he got? I saw that he's got somebody, but it's a hard name.
It's in Kansas City, and I can't think of the name either because everybody's taking a big bus down there together.
And actually, Daryl Love, is it Love out of Jermaine Andres just got a fight on
Strikeforce deal.
So did
Okay.
Eric Irvin out of Dr. Joe's camp.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
did he?
Very
Good.
good.
Very
He's
good.
gonna fight on the Strikeforce Challenger Series.
The undercard series, and
Oh, excellent.
they usually will pick one or two of the undercard guys to get a chance to move on to that Challenger series.
Yeah.
The local guys, you know, I mean, I don't even want to tell you, you know, the pay scale, and you definitely better move forward.
No,
you know,
absolutely.
Beyond
But
that.
hey, it's all about the visibility. It's not
Exactly,
about
the
paying that
visibility, and getting a chance to be seen, and Daryl's a guy who won the Iron Ring and is a very good fighter and just hasn't had a chance to get too many fights, and I'm excited to see him get his chance in Kansas City too. But what impressed me most about Woodley was his striking recently, and his balance.
Well, he's a tremendous wrestler, so that's a big thing.
He's really just got it together and looks like he's really could be the next big thing from this area, and a nice guy. When we had him, just a really good guy who's not sabotaging his career, who's doing everything
he's doing all
the right way
things.
so far.
But he trained like a
Focusing on
professional
I don't
for
know.
like 3 months, 4 months before he became a professional.
Right. Well,
And
I
I
know.
think that had a lot to do
Oh,
with it.
absolutely.
He
I know
trained
he
full
trained.
time for months, and then when he made his professional debut, how are you going to beat it?
I'm
Not as
just
debut, but when he
surprised-
started taking on the bigger matches.
Yeah, and I don't
He was
know.
ready. He was on a high level.
I don't know what the intricacies of it are, but they announced him as an American top team fighter.
Okay.
But he seems to do most of his training here with Team Vaghi and Mike Rogers and Enrico Vaghi, and I'm
His
just.
favorite camp is the one that he said is Coconut Creek.
He goes
down in
that's
Florida.
America's
He spends
top
a lot of
team.
time
I think
there.
that speaks for him in the fact that they will claim him as an ATT
Right.
fighter.
And I think that's a marketing thing too. I'm
Yeah.
wondering about that because America's top team is much more known. So
Well, they have an American top team
Yeah.
in Colombia, and he started with them when I was up there still.
right, but I mean he does most of his training
He
here
does
in
most
town.
Now he
training
does, yeah.
in St.
But,
Charles.
And
Okay,
but they
cool.
still claim him, and I don't know what the politics
Yeah,
are of
I'm
that.
not
But
quite sure how that works either.
there's something going on.
We'll
I'd
still
like to
claim
know.
him as a local fighter.
Yes. Well, Andy, we're probably due for our break here before we bring Nedra out.
Okay.
Anything else we need to go over on this upcoming event? Where are you going to watch it at?
I'm not sure. We might do the side pockets thing.
Give the
again.
free plug out there to somebody.
Yeah, side pockets.
We went
Our
to Side
Buffalo
Pockets
Wings,
last
another
time.
potential sponsor.
Yep.
We went there last time.
Side Pockets is an excellent place to see the fights.
Yeah.
Skybox.
Buffalo's Skybox, Buffalo Wings, they're all great places.
Yeah, you know who else is Dave and Buster's is showing the fights.
Oh, is it really?
Okay.
Man, that wouldn't be bad either.
Doesn't surprise me.
We're going to Barb and Tim's bar and
House?
grill.
No, we live in Missouri, a real state, Jen.
Oh, man.
I'm just teasing.
Well, we want to thank Matt Clark and Jason Flanders for coming on and enlightening us about the fights coming up this weekend. Really appreciate it, guys. You
Thank
did
you,
a
Andy.
fantastic job. And we are going to take a little break, and our break will be with Nedra, who's going to be on the show when we come back, doing some live music for us. So pretty excited about that. Talk about what's coming up for them. This is Nedra with Kiss Me.
Send me the link, I'll call you.